In this episode of the Empower podcast,
this is real life and people are suffering. Pain, hurt, anger.
I don't think we can solve this without men being our allies.
All you can do is support. Allow yourself to flourish. Who she ends up being is who she was always supposed to be.
hello and welcome back to the Empower podcast. I'm your host, Robbi Stevens. Thank you so much for joining us on this exciting journey together, sharing and empowering the many incredibly brave people whose stories have inspired the plots and characters in our films.
Welcome, Esme Pellegrini.
Hi, Ez. Hello.
Today's episode comes with a trigger warning, so if you're sensitive to this subject, just consider if now is the right time for you to listen. But our intention, as always, is to make our podcasts helpful, to make them healing, and for people to feel seen and heard.
For a little bit of context, Ez had played Grace in the Nightingale. She was the lead character. She drove the whole film. There's another character in the film called Isla who supports Grace, who's been sexually assaulted, and I know that you've been in that position before. How do you support them?
I think everyone's journey is different, and whatever journey they decide is theirs whilst dealing with this, all you can do is support. I can't say anything to make it better. I can't do anything. If I'm no longer even in contact with them anymore, that is something that I can't help. But I think when you let someone know you're there unconditionally for whatever it is they need, I think they feel that, and that's all you can do, really. Yeah.
We do all this work as women to help other women, and actually we need men to be our allies, right? Because they're the perpetrators. I don't think we can solve this without men being our allies.
I think I want to make clear that it's very obvious when a man says he's on board just for praise and acceptance compared to a man who genuinely, like we talk about Michael in the film, right? He was passionate about supporting her. He was patient. He was genuine. And he let her be. He gave her that space to feel safe with him. Again, there was no force, a man not being forceful to get anything from a woman, whether it's the acceptance or the validation, just letting her be and seeing her for who she is. So yes, I feel there is work being made to make men feel more aware, and they are getting it more than they were before. But if I just, as a topic, if you don't, it's fine to be naive. It just means you need to have more conversations. You need to research. You need to really go into what the topic's about. Make sure you understand. It's fine to ask questions. Just be genuine.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Don't do it for an agenda.
Want to do it. Don't just say you're doing it. It's very obvious. But you can't also bash people for trying, I guess. You just have to, again, be patient, maybe.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
How do we create change in your mind? 1 in 3 women are being raped.
It's just education.
What does that look like for you? Education from a very young age?
From a very young age.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, we need to be teaching our sons, as well as our daughters, but specifically in this subject, our sons, how, not just about sexual assault, rape, all of these things, but how to view a woman.
How to view themselves as well.
Yeah, like, how to treat people, full stop.
Yeah.
Respect. Boundaries.
Yeah.
Then you go into consent.
Yeah.
You know, don't just throw it like, what is it? Sex education is so like, oh, you do this, you do that, and you're missing out relationship.
Yeah.
Human relationship interactions. You have to tell your sons, you have to just be quite frank with them. It's okay that you tell them something's wrong, or I think there's a lot of culture around, oh, he's my little boy, oh, he's going to do this, oh, he's going to grow up to be such a this, such a that. Absolutely not. My son's going to know exactly who women are and how to treat a woman and what's right and what's wrong. And he's going to love his mum.
Yeah.
And fucking appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it starts from at home. But I'm also aware that that's not always possible. Maybe at home, you don't know who people's role models are. You don't know if they even have any.
I've read a study recently where the biggest thing, the most thing that matters to a teenager is their peers, right? Having acceptance from peers. So yeah, it doesn't matter what their parents are doing.
But if you've got at least one of those kids who go, actually guys, no. It just takes one person, then two people, then three people to call each other out and make that other person think about their actions and make them...
Definitely.
Men feel stupid by other men. That's the only time a man will feel stupid. He doesn't care what a woman says to them. This goes back to having men. The reason why we need men on our side is because men don't listen to women. Men who are stuck in their ways need another man to pull them up on their shit. Then they start having arguments. I've had so many situations, places of work, where a man's only been intimidated when another man has pulled him out. They don't care what I say because they just want me to shut up. So as much as they do it for the culture, oh yeah mate, I just did this, oh yeah I did that, you're gonna feel stupid one way or another if another man pulls you out. So education,
getting the people that are brave enough to stand up to it, and
because if more people know it's wrong and still do it compared to more people who don't know it's wrong and do it, it's small, but it's still changing, I think.
Definitely.
It's becoming more known.
I'm going to tell you a story about a friend of mine who was on the tube recently, and this guy started talking to her, and he started invading her space, and she didn't feel threatened by it because he was just like one of those people. It wasn't even talking about anything sleazy. There was two blokes sitting opposite her on the tube, and the guy that was sitting next to her, put his hand on her knee, and both of those blokes stood up and were ready to protect her. And I said to my friends that I've never seen that happen before.
It's so crazy because I want to be like, wow, but I'm not going to praise you for that either.
No,
I'm not going to praise you. That's really, what really should happen.
Yeah.
But you kind of are like kind of taken back because it doesn't happen.
Right. I'm just mentioning it here because I want someone else to do that.
Yeah, definitely. No, do it. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Do it. But,
yeah. What was the driving force behind you taking on the role of Grace and doing it with so much commitment and passion? We were together. I know that it was us three going into this journey together, but I'm talking about the storyline and being able to portray her journey.
I think I've always had a very strong opinion and been very strong-minded. I've always hated sexual assault. Rape has always made me extremely angry, and I think my passion can sometimes be aggressive, and in this instance I feel like that drove me through it. There was so many moments where we were together and you're just crying because you're like, this is why we're doing it.
The tears that we had with each other on set.
Not just even rehearsals or even having conversations on a Sunday, rehearsing somewhere in flipping London, and I just, looking back on it, it never felt hard because you're just, I think passion, if you're truly passionate about something, you're just going. Obviously that's not to say I knew everything about it. I did how much research. I put I just was living in it.
Yeah, you were.
And then I knew Grace, she's my babes. Like, I love Grace. I was just so hand in hand, he's going forward and wanting to do it as best as you can because the meaning was so clear.
Yeah. What would you say are two of the most important things in terms of your craft that you're able to draw on? We're talking about acting now. Your performance was outstanding. So many people have said that. We've had reviews come in from all over the world talking about you and your performance. What do you think maybe were two of the things that helped with that, your acting craft? Or
I think I always say, it sounds silly, but I needed you there.
Yeah.
Having you there, having support, which is not so much about my craft, but I think I kind of touched on that a little bit in the previous question, but having the right support around you to do something like this. The craft then comes naturally because you're in a safe space to be vulnerable and to give it everything. There was yeah, I think I'm like jumping the gun here, but I knew everything about Grace. I knew everything that I needed to know about how to perform and all the stages, and I would have not done it unless I did know how to act that out, because I needed to do it justice. But having you there, having this bubble that us three created of love and support and safety, the film went through stages just like Grace did.
Yeah.
Of grieving, of heartache, of pain, of anger, of absolute dickheads.
Yeah.
Like, everything was leading to that moment. So Craft, I don't know, I feel like that's down to you a lot, because you trained me, and
we worked on it for such a long time.
Such a long time, I feel.
It wasn't, I wouldn't even call it craft. I feel that we just knew her, we knew everything.
Yeah, everything was leading to this.
Yeah.
I feel.
Would you do something like this again, this intense?
Do you know what?
That laughter means a lot. What's behind that laughter?
No, I would, you know. I would.
Oh, of course you would.
I would. Of course I would. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And I think there might be some people like, to me, that, look, it was extremely intense, but it's like I kind of live for that. Yeah. I really do. I find it hard to do, like, mundane acting. But having said that, I think, again, you can't, I'm speaking in general, I don't think anyone can take on something that heavy and not have a support system around them whilst they're filming. So many moments where I could have been traumatized from certain, I don't know, just circumstances that happened. I was never unsafe or anything, but to think about potentially not having someone there, the fact that you're a woman, you know, female director, it means more than any male director might even understand, and how to support women, especially when you have a DOP who's male, who's not thinking about what's happening, not thinking about the story, not thinking about what this means. All he cares about is a light or whatever. Yeah, it's obviously very taxing, and it can make you feel really uncomfortable, and there definitely are elements of it, but like I said, I would 100% do it again. I'm more aware now of what I need. That's all.
Yeah. If you were to say one thing to any child or teen who's been sexually assaulted or raped to give them hope, what would it be?
Quickly, like, touching on the film, a big thing that I noticed when watching the final edit, Grace goes on a really big personal journey of change, which goes hand in hand with hope. Allow yourself to change. You're going to change, and it's completely fine. I don't want to say change, just allow yourself to flourish in your own natural way. 100%. It will be a very hard experience, very painful. I don't want to say things like, you'll be okay, it's going to be okay. I have no idea. Everyone is very personal, it's got their own personal experiences, but allow yourselves to ride the waves of whatever you're feeling, pain, hurt, anger. But speak. Always speak to people. Know that you have people around you who do want to help. There's so many people who don't. And again, act like they want to, act like they care. But there are so many people who genuinely do. Don't shut yourself off.
Definitely. What is the biggest, strongest message the Nightingale gives?
I feel like I'm like going to take bits of everything that I've said previously, but we always talk about hope, and I'm sure loads of people, everyone's touched on that there is a message of hope at the end, and that journey that she goes on, and who she ends up being is who she was always supposed to be, in a funny kind of way. Even me now, like, I think about, I'm 26 now, we started filming when I was 22, 23.
Yeah.
So I've changed so much, and my opinions on things and what I want to do with my life, and we were speaking about earlier, like, all my desires are completely changed. So as your life, as however you want to live your life, whatever happens to you, take it, digest it, own it. It's yours, it's your journey, it's your soul. Own it. Don't let things take over you. You're always going to be who you were meant to be, and you're always gonna it's always gonna be painful, it's always gonna, but the biggest message is you're great, you're gonna be great.
That's amazing. Love you, Ez.
I love you, Robbi.
Thank you everyone for listening, and if you do need someone to talk to, please check out our link tree on Instagram over at empower.cic, where there's a list of links to places you can find support. Thank you.